What up, guys, gals, and those in between? Today on Bachelor on a Budget, we are making umami bomb pasta. This is a vegan pasta, and it's so savory, so rich. We got a couple key ingredients that give it that rich umami taste. If you don't know what umami is, I've done a video on it before that you can check out, Umami and MSG. So let's dive into this. So, 4 ingredients. We got our pasta. Onions, sliced onions. That's 2 cups. 2 cups of mushrooms, button mushrooms, regular plain old white button mushrooms. You can use other types of mushrooms here, like I have. Oyster mushrooms. This is gonna be the base of our rich savoriness because mushrooms have a ton of umami in them. They're very savory. Celery. Cooked celery has lots of umami. It absorbs flavor really well. We'll add that in a bit later so we don't have it too soft, but yeah, cooked celery is gonna be awesome. Garlic, of course, crucial in pasta. Sun-dried tomatoes. So tomatoes themselves have lots of umami, but sun-dried tomatoes, it concentrates that and makes it really delicious. We're using all of these umami-rich ingredients because we're not using any dairy or meat. And dairy or meat traditionally have a lot of umami and that savory flavor. Another one of my really favorite ingredients, nutritional yeast. This stuff is like cheese powder. It's super nutritious. It's just like packed full of vitamins and it's delicious. It's amazing. And we'll also add a bit of salt and spices. Okay, let's turn on the heat. I got a pot, it's half full of water. I added in about 2 tablespoons of salt. Salt the water, it's important for pasta. And I'm gonna turn that on high. Just get that ready. And I got a large wok. You need a big pan because we're always cooking enough for leftovers. Turn that up to medium high. Next we want some oil. I'm gonna use about half of this jug here. Just kidding. I often get people commenting that I use way too much oil, so you can use less than I do, but I'm gonna go in with about 2 heaping tablespoons. Sorry for being so MIA. I've been super busy with my business, video marketing business, Viral Video. Check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. But I've been super focused on that and just trying to grow that, support the clients, and I've just failed to be consistent with my uploading. So trying to get back into it, have another video on the pipeline. So yeah, we'll see. I'll try and keep it up more. As per 99% of my recipes, we start with frying the onions. Next, we got our mushrooms. We can cook down our mushrooms as much as we want. So we want to cook that on a high heat. So I'll do it while there's not a lot in the pan. Come look. At this point, I'm gonna get some salt in there. Generally, we do it to taste. I'm gonna pour a little bit in now, check it, taste it, and then add more later. Let's get this mound of garlic in there. That's about 4 pieces of garlic. You don't have to use as much, but I say like at least a clove per serving, right? We're making at least 4 servings here. 2 for tonight, 2 for leftovers. When you're cooking this, high heat is gonna really bring out that flavor. We want this stuff to brown. We want to fry it, not just steam the stuff. Otherwise, we're not gonna get that same flavor. What we're looking for is that Maillard effect where the sugars on the stuff we're cooking caramelize. So high heat, you can always turn it down. Put a fan on if you need. Okay, we also got our oyster mushrooms. I cut them in, well, this size, basically cut them in half unless they were small ones. I turned that up a bit. We're starting to get some of that browning. Now I'm gonna add the nutritional yeast because I want to soak up some of the juices that the mushrooms have released, and that may give me a bit more browning. Woo! That smells so good. Turn that down a bit. You can play with that yourself. Just make sure nothing's sticking to the pan. That alone is tasting so delicious. Hey, if you're not following me on Instagram, you should be. Bachelor Budget. I got lots of recipes, quick stories that show you a lot more meals than the full YouTube videos. So check that out, interact with me, send me a message. Love to hear from you. Now we can get our celery in there and our sun-dried tomatoes soaked in oil. I got a big jar and it lasts forever. And you can see we're starting to stick to the sides here. And that Those little brown bits are actually so flavorful. I'm actually gonna add a bit of soy sauce, soy milk. You can also use almond milk or even like cashew milk or rice milk, but I prefer soy. It's like the most nutritious and I find it the best flavor. I'm just gonna add a bit of that, and that will make it a bit more creamy. You don't have to use it. I'm using Kirkland brand. We got some nice bubble in there. I want to thicken that sauce so I have it back on a higher heat. I'm gonna use half this bag. I'm using some colored fusilli. You can use whatever pasta noodle you want. So I'm gonna use 250 grams. This is looking delicious. Pretty much done. I can set that to low and wait for the noodles to cook. Here's where you can add some more spices if you want to use some fresh oregano, basil, dried basil, fresh basil. You feel free to do that there. We got our pasta noodle. Let's give this a taste. That's done. We want it al dente. That means firm to the tooth. It has a bit of bite to it. Not crunchy, but just it's still a bit firm. You can really ruin a pasta by overcooking your noodles, so it's better to slightly undercook them because you can always cook it in the pan together with all your ingredients. We're gonna drain most of this water, but we want to keep a bit, not too much, but a bit. You can't even see it in there, for that starch, that starchy water. If you end up adding too much water, what you can do is just add a bit more nutritional yeast, but ideally your water will thicken up as you cook it just a bit longer with your sauce. In this case, I'll add a bit more nutritional yeast. We're done. Garnish that with a bit of parsley. It's actually not parsley, it's celery leaves. I lied. Well, folks, I think we got a winner. That was pretty damn good. As expected. Make this for a date. You are in. Although if you always cook this good, you may end up in a 5.5-year relationship. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I know you will if you try it. So give it a shot. Let me know in the comments if you make it, or if you're gonna make it, or if you have any suggestions for it. What is your favorite umami ingredient? I wanna hear from you. Maybe I'll make a whole recipe on it. Thanks, bye.